While it was modestly up, the market was actually up 20% for the year, hitting a new high. So actually it was a pretty good market, given how expensive things are and how far it went up year to date. And it's because the consumer is so awesome. So it was a bumpy quarter. It was only up 1.7%. Everybody's worried about an awful lot of things. The yield curve inverted. There's weakness in China. There's weakness in Europe. There's weakness in US manufacturing numbers. We have political uncertainty where we're not sure who the Democratic candidate is going to be, and it makes a big difference whether it's Biden or whether it's Warren. All that said, we hit a new high because the consumer is good. And as long as the consumer stays good, the market will stay good. Despite the market hitting new high and being so expensive, it was actually a defensive-led rally. And so that favored our style. That's why we had a good quarter. So our best performers were in the consumer staples. And so a standout there was Walmart, which is a very large position for us. And then consumer discretionary helped us. And that was most of all, we avoided blow-ups and we had a nice big position in Home Depot, so that was a big help. And then in the industrials, again, industrials had a tough quarter, but because we have a defensive cast to that type of the portfolio, we were helped by names like Raytheon. The only sector that really hurt us in the quarter was technology. Adobe, which has had a lot of quarters in a row of great numbers, only just hit expectations rather than beat it. And since it was an expensive stock, it took it on the chin. And then we were hurt by Cisco, which actually did have a weak quarter. And we think there's just a little bit of a product transition issue there. We don't think that there's any problem. In fact, we think that the weakness is an opportunity because the 5G switch is coming next year in telecommunications, and that offers an awful lot of upside for all those telecom companies. The market is really expensive right now. On the Buffett ratio, which is the value of the stock market divided by the size of the economy, we are one of the most expensive that we've ever been in history. That means that it's going to be difficult for stocks to expand their PE ratios. The economy is growing rather slowly right now, and actually earnings are going to shrink in the third quarter probably, and probably grow only modestly next year. So that gives you a picture of likely modest returns in the stock market over the next year. The critical thing is there going to be a recession? If there's a recession, then look out below. Given the valuation, it's going to hurt. Otherwise, the yield curve, when it inverts, usually there's a recession on average about 14 months later. So the first inversion was at the end of March, and so that puts us kind of in the early summer of next year. The critical thing is going to be, did the Fed step in fast enough to goose the economy and to turn things around? Do we have a soft landing? At this point, we're positioned for a market that's going to keep on going up and not for a recession. That said, this is a really good time for our strategy. You want to own it in your portfolio right now, because if the market keeps on going up, we're going to participate, and if we do have a recession and the market really gets hit, we're going to protect you on the downside.